Welcome everybody to today's wonderful class of Living Lessons from Tanya. We are at a milestone today. We are going to be learning chapter 17. Let me explain. Tanya has many different aspects to it. The first 8-9 chapters is just tells us we have two souls, what it's made about. From chapter 10 until the end of 17 is more or less the war inside us. Why do we have two voices? How are we supposed to compete with the two voices? And we discussed in chapter 12 that many times when a person goes and has, I should keep kosher, I should not keep kosher. Oh, I woke up today with inspired, I want to go to services today on Shabbos. But then all of a sudden there's a voice that says, no, sleep there a little longer, sleep there a little longer. So these voices is competing. Now, it's impossible to become righteous in all the time. Like, what? I'm never going to have a bad thought. Are you kidding me? Comes the Alter Rebbe and taught us in chapter 12 in the book of Tanya that all God expects of you is not to be righteous. Definitely doesn't want you being wicked, but be a Beinoni. A Beinoni is choose right now to do the right thing. Do it right now. Go to shul. Go to services. What's going to happen later? During the battle, again, make the right choice. But if you think it's all or nothing, then it's impossible for you to grow and make the right choice. So too also right now, each and every one of us, we can make the choice. For example, I'm sure each one of you have in front of you texts that are coming in, or in the background, the TV could be coming in, or all of a sudden a phone call is coming in. You're learning a Torah class. I'm enjoying the Torah class. But a distraction comes. The animal soul inside us, whether through a text, whether through thoughts, I got to do business, it distracts us from wanting to do what is right with God. So take a Beinoni moment. All you have to do is go and say, ignore the call, ignore the text. You'll answer them in 20, 25 minutes. That is chapter 12. Chapter 13 and 14 and 15 was mostly about, really, Rabbi, you expect me to take these choices? Do you realize my mind 24/7 is always swimming? You expect me to be able to focus and always make the right choice? Well, God created you to have a lot of thoughts and a lot of feelings. You wouldn't be human if you didn't have an inner battle. Should I do it like this or should I do it like that? And distracting thoughts. This is normal. Comes the Alter Rebbe and says, yes, obviously make the right choice and do the right action, but with the contemplation about God and recognize how big God is and how much God created billions of galaxies, and here on this earth there's trillions of anthills, and God takes care of every ant and gives every crumb. Besides, under the ocean there's a little unknown species we haven't even discovered yet that is constantly getting its food. Wow, God is taking care of every creature and yet takes care of me. Whoa. So you start realizing how great God is and how awesome God is. So these concepts make you realize, wow, God is great. And that can help you develop a love for God. In chapter 17, which we're going to learn today, is in last week's Tanya class is, if you love God and you try to do the most and you study Torah and you constantly putting good thoughts into your head, you can learn to love God. Chapter 17 has a whole new concept. Rabbi, I'm learning Torah. I go to so many classes. I go to so many services. I listen to so many speeches. I listen to all the podcasts. I'm doing it all. So how come I don't feel a great love for God? Is there something wrong with me? I want to love God. I want to have a relationship with God. So I learn all this Torah. Is there something wrong with me that I can't go and say, I love you, God? Is there a problem somewhere here? So my dear friends, each and every one of us, if you have the book, Let's all open up to page 108. All right, turn to page 108. That's where we're up to. Chapter 17. For those that do not have the book, I will put a link up that you can order it on Amazon, and you can have it for the next class. That's for all the newcomers that are here. Okay, let's go to the top of page 108 in that beige box. Here's the most important thing. It's what's up here in your mind. It's what's up here. A person's mind is in control. It's totally in your control. And you can use your mind to contemplate anything you want. I'm going to get to this in a moment. When one uses your mind to ponder God's greatness, it will automatically create, at least in your mind, a love for God. Let's get this. You and I have millions of thoughts. We're all over the place, constantly. But if you focus on something, that becomes what you care about. Look what it says here. If you ever studied for a difficult test, you know that it is very possible and very realistic to focus your mind on that certain topic for a very long time. I want to become a lawyer. I have to pass the bar. All of a sudden, someone says to you, hey, go watch this TikTok, this Instagram, this. Hey, away. I need to focus now. I got a big test. I need to become a real estate license. I need to focus. I just found out, unfortunately, one of my children has some kind of illness. I know it can be cured, but I want to know more about it. So all of a sudden, you start Googling. And all of a sudden, someone says, hey, can I talk to you? The soap opera that I watched today? I don't have time right now. I can put you on pause. I need to focus. The more you focus, the more you're involved in what you're thinking. In other words, your whole the mind can take you, that your whole existence is thinking about this subject. Even 20 minutes after you learned all about it, you're in the car. What are you thinking about? The music could be playing. The news could be playing. You're not hearing it. Why? You are where your mind takes you. Fact. So if a Jew wants to get closer to God and have a relationship with God, well, start focusing on thoughts about God. That's it. That's simple. So the Alter Rebbe is saying, of course, it's not just that we can control our thoughts. We have our ability to direct anything we choose. Do you know how many people are like, I have to save the whales? They saw some documentary, it took over their mind, they started thinking about it, they became obsessed with it, and then for the next 5 years, I got to go and save the whales. That's all the thing, I got to save the whales. It's Yom Kippur tomorrow. No, I have to go to the beach, I got to save the whales. Your mind can get you caught up in anything that you want. It could be politics. Oh, I got to make sure that my party wins, that the left wins, the right wins. Whatever you put into your head, whatever you want to focus on, that is where you are, and that is what's occupying your desires. Now, the truth of the matter is, even if you're saving the whales and even if you're all about politics, you start asking yourself, there's got to be more to life. It can't just be Biden, Trump, Charlie Kirk or not, save the whale or not, save the planet or not. I mean, is that the whole aspect? People want to have more meaning. They want to have, why am I here? I'm an activist, but why am I here? Is my existence to be an activist? No, it's something you do. So I want a more meaningful life. And that only is able to be done when you recognize I was created by God. And even the person doesn't believe in God for a moment. Okay, so why did my mom and dad have me? Am I just a mistake? It just so happens to be. I'm just an amoeba that grew into cells? Am I just from a monkey? People who are atheists, at the end of the day, they go and exist. I don't know why I'm in existence, but I'm here, so let me become an activist about something. But there's no meaning and purpose in the life, because why are you here can't be answered. It's just a mistake. So being that we recognize there is God, there is a creator, and God does take care of me, etc. So how do I establish a relationship? God is ethereal. How do I make it real? So the Alter Rebbe is saying right here, you are as real, your existence, your truth, and your emotion, and your everything is what's filling your mind at the moment. But it doesn't only have to last a moment. It could be even when I'm not contemplating, when I'm playing baseball, when I'm with my children. The overlying background program in my computer is still about God, because I have a relationship. As we said a few weeks ago, a mother or father, when it's with the child, oh, I love you. Come sit on my lap. I'll read you a story. Here, eat something. I love you. Just because the mother and the father is having a business deal later doesn't mean they love you less. The love is still there, but it's just down here because I'm focusing on this. But the love is always there. It's always running in me. How do I know? 1 minute, everybody. I know I'm in an important meeting, but my kid is on the phone. Hello. Hi, my dear. Oh, okay. Let me finish the meeting and I'll get back to you and I'll call the principal, okay? The child knows I love. Why? I took the call. Why did I take the call? Because the moment I saw my child calling, woohoo! The love came right back. So too with us. If we want a relationship, we have to start somewhere with God. And where's the ultimate place? Recognizing. Let's read a little bit more that's in this book because they really write it well, and I know you'll appreciate it. If we allow our thoughts to wander about and not making any real effort to control them, you ever notice? TikTok now, Instagram now, news now, music now, party now. It's like we're all over the place. Then your thoughts and your life is running wild. And it's unbeneficial when you're all over the place. However, when we do control our thoughts, we can actually change the things that we care about. Because whatever you're thinking a lot about, that's where you're starting to care. That's where you're starting to put a lot of your energies. When we think about an idea a lot, we begin to care about it. Therefore, in order to grow and better ourselves, we should think a lot more about God. Bada bing, bada boom. That's simple. And in turn, we will begin to care and feel more about God. And we'll want a better and stronger relationship with God. Rabbi, I haven't studied Torah. I'm not supposed to be a religious person. How am I supposed to contemplate God? That's next week's chapter, by the way. The one who's unaffiliated, never had an education. How can I get that? But what about now? What about now if I'm not educated? So what can I do? So look what the Alter Rebbe writes in this chapter of Tanya. It's a word you hear a lot about. You hear a lot of people, they say it in the Sephardic way, hizbananut. Hizbananut, we have to meditate. What does hizbananut mean? And you got to realize that whenever people say meditate, doesn't mean like this. But the Alter Rebbe is going to get into telling us what hizbananut is. And no, it's not. You know, all those religions that say, just meditate. They want you to clear your mind out. Clear your mind out. Have nothing in your mind. Find peace in your head. That's nirvana. Woo-hoo! And no, it isn't. God created you with a brain to use your brain, not to clear your brain. If your brain is clear, There's a vacuum, and they can pour anything they want into you. And then all of a sudden you have Zen, you have Buddha. Ooh, I feel so good. Woo, that's basically how it works. That's not Judaism. Judaism doesn't want you going like this. No, that's not his bonnet. Even though a lot of people out there, they go and say like this, take a drag. No. Let's get into the real way and how to do it, the way God created it. And don't forget, you have a godly soul you can work with. So let's go into the book and see what it says. Take some time and think about how God, just think about God. Just think, okay, what about God? Well, God's controlling everything that every ant has. What is? Just fill your mind of all the great things that God does. Yes, you're now filling your mind. To do his bonus properly, you can choose anything you've learned or anything that's realistic to you in your idea of what God is all about. Just take a few moments every day. Take a few moments a day. And even while driving, the news could be on, anything could be on. But what are you thinking about? Wow, God does this, God does that. Look at those clouds. It's going to bring rain, but look, it's wind. God is controlling the wind, making sure the clouds are coming in. Wow, God takes care of everything. So even when you're driving, you can have his bonus moments. Even if you're waiting online at the grocery store, I go like, okay, I got to wait 10 minutes. So you're just staring there. You ever notice sometimes you're just staring there and you're just looking up? Back to reality. You can take those same 10 minutes and just think about, I heard what the rabbi said today in the class. Let me think about it. Let me chew on it more. And you go, see, the mind can create a wow factor. You ever learn something, you go, wow! Now the brain is cold. Thought. Wow is the heart. You now are creating a wow by having good thoughts in your heart. Love. Intellectual. It makes sense. By the way, just like in dating, you can go and look at a beautiful boy, a beautiful girl, and go, wow, I'm in love. Look how cute they are. No, that's all heart. That's all lust. Because after a week or two, you start thinking, what was I thinking about? What was I thinking about? What would I waste my time with such a person? But if you dated and you communicated and you watched the way they acted, etc., these thoughts go and say, wow, I really love this person. I really love this character. That's not lust. That is good love. Because it came from here, understanding, communicating, relating to. And the more I have a relationship with God in my mind and I understand God, it makes a wow. Ooh, you just created the ability for love with God. That's how it works. So just take any moment, take any moment during the day. You're sitting in traffic anyway on the 405, the 110, or the 10 freeway anyway. There are 16 cars ahead of you to make a left turn, and there's 2 at a time. You got plenty of time to go and say, okay, God, let me review something I learned today. And then you go, wow, God's awesome. So his boiness is actually using the mind while you're alive in the normal part of the world. Of course, you can do it when you come to services. Many times there are people that go, they pray real fast. There's no his boiness there. They're saying the words. But what about you? If you go to services and there's a line that captures you, and you go like that, that is pretty cool. Let me think about that. That is also his boiness. That arouses in mind thoughts that can create a love for God. Whenever you have a few free moments, instead of letting your mind wander unchecked, think about this, think about that, as usually goes, try focusing on God. Just try. See, in order to have a relationship, it's not one way. God wants to have a relationship with you. That we know. You know the word ego? Edging God out. When I have an ego, it's all about me. God wants a relationship with you. No, I don't have room for God. But when you're really searching and I want a relationship with God, I want to be happy. It's not always about me. I want to have purpose. Why did God create me? I have to look. I have to get a wow in my life. Easiest way to do it is start recognizing the greatness of God, and He created me. Didn't need me. Didn't need anything. Yet He created the world. He created the galaxies, and even little old me. Why? Because I have purpose. So when you start even thinking about that, it says, wow, I'm here because God wants me. He wants me. The fact that you contemplated that, whoa. I recognize God loves me, but I'm starting to appreciate God. And if I appreciate God, it arouses a love within me towards God. The more His holiness that we do, the more important God becomes to us. Just like politics became so real to you, because it's all you do. You think about it all day long. Let's push that out. Let's feel better about it. Because whenever we do politics, we always get angry. But whenever we think about God, we find purpose. We find there's a reason for me. I'm in a happy place. And that's what Dr. Rabbi wrote in chapter 1. It's all about, I have to be happy. We were born happy. Why all of a sudden my head all over the place? Because we choose to go into the world of miscombobulation. No purpose. It's just, they just are pulling me from this side to that side. And all of a sudden we get all angry. But when we find our relation with God, when you're in a loving relationship, everything is good. Even if you're married in a loving relationship, even if you're boyfriend, girlfriend in a loving relationship, how much better it is that my whole world, and even when I'm not thinking about God, it's filled with love of God because I have a relationship, because I spend time thinking about God. So me and God are tight. He's always with me. Just like the person who's always tight with politics. They can't think about anything. They can't talk about anything else. No, I want to be happy. I want to have a relationship with God because it's really important. Let's continue over here on page 109. When a person's mind, look near the bottom, thought is part of how God created your brain and think. So being that God gave you the power to think, this thoughts brings you to emotions, anger, happiness, etc. When your mind is empty and it's like all over the place, it's just like watching TV. Instagram, it's all meaningless. It's all whatever. This causes, as we see in the world, deviant and unhealthy thoughts because you don't have anything that is productive and happy inside you. When one mind is busy with purpose, for example, you're working on a court case. You're working on a real estate business deal. You're working on understanding your child to be able to take care of your child. You're working on a Torah class. When you're working in your mind on something, you don't have time for crazy behavior or crazy thought. You don't have time because your mind can only think one thing at a time. Can't do two thoughts. It can't. Impossible. You are in control of your mind. You decide what you want to think of. Many, many different thoughts fly in. Stop. Close the door. That's when you can think about God. Or get back to what you're working on. And you'll realize, I don't have time for the politics. I don't have time for the drama in other people's lives. It's like, whoa, please. Yeah. So if you're busy, you can't have deviant behavior. That's why, if you really think about it, it's only been 100, 150 years ago when Daddy finished work, he came home, and he had supper with the children, put them to sleep, told them a story, And many daddies, 3-4 times a week at 9 o'clock, 9:30 at night, would leave the house and go to the study hall. Even in candlelight, the way it used to be. And they would study Torah for an hour. They'd go home, they'd be with their wife, wake up the next day. By the way, even while you're sleeping, you usually sleep about the thoughts that were in your mind. So you have happy thoughts because I was studying Torah. The whole next day, it's like, yeah, my boss is a creep. Yeah, the world is trying to destroy me. But I'm a Jew. I'm not allowing the world to affect my emotions and bring me down. Because you are where your head is. You are where you focus. Comes down to the Rebbe and says, I know you have a lot of battles inside, but you can create that there's less and less battles. Why? Because I'm into this. And what is the healthiest? This? Taking time to study Torah. Why? Because I have a relationship with God. When October 7th happens, there are a lot of people that became sad, like me, upset, like me, but a lot of people got depressed, not like me. They couldn't tear themselves away from the TV, or they'll, I don't know what to do with my life. Why? We need leaders at this moment. We need people that can get up and go what to do. I remember 10 days after October 7th, 27 rabbis, including myself, with $500,000, flew to Israel. And I remember people saying, you're going to fly to Israel? Maybe the plane is going to get hit by a missile. I go, what? Why are you putting crazy thoughts into my head? I'm on a mission. We got there, and there was one lady that was with us. She's a reporter, and she was on the bus, and all of a sudden we heard, woo! So the bus had to come to a stop, and all the rabbis ran into a field. You put your head down, etc. We heard boom, boom, boom. We look up, we could see the missiles intercepting the missiles, and shrapnel's falling all over the place. Could have, God forbid, but no, God is over us, and nothing happened. And we all got back into the bus. And she was sitting across me, and she says, Rabbi, everybody on the bus is talking about what we were talking about before. I go, yeah. He says, excuse me, what's going on here? We just went through a bombing. Don't we want to talk about it? I said, nothing happened. Can we move on? See, some people get so, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Because that's where their head is, and they're all full of fear. Well, you think us rabbis didn't realize there was a danger? Of course there was. But a soldier has to move on. A soldier can't go and say, I'm paralyzed. That's what happens to you. So if you have God with you in your mind and in your thoughts, she went and said afterwards, it was the first time in my life that I actually saw what religious people preach. You have to trust God. She recognized that 27 rabbis had such trust that we were in a good mood. Let's move on. We were all going to a hospital with the people, Teleshomer Hospital, where people that have legs gone off, or they have their arms blown off, etc. This is where we were going. We can't go in there going, walk into a room and go, oh, you feel so... The patient, get out of here. I have that for my mother, I have that for my father. What are you doing here? How did we walk in? Which I shared with many of you videos of many times that I've been to Israel. We go into our hospital room, we sit down, we talk, before you know it, we give them strength, we sing. Some of us dance with the family. Why? Because we walk in where our head is. Our relation with God. Everything will be good. My job is to bring light into darkness, but if I'm darkness, what's going on? And all of a sudden we watch TV and we get so caught up in the damage. I can't, Rabbi. Excuse me. This is exactly what the Alter Rebbe is writing here. You decide. You want to be happy, you want to be sad. It's up to you. Now, believe me, when we walk into these rooms, there's a lot of pain. Why else do you think I raise money to go to Israel to pay the widow, give money to the widows? Why else do you think I go to the soldiers? Why else do you I love them. I know they're in pain. I'm hurt. I feel that my brother is this way, but what do I gain if I'm not in a good mood? What do I gain? Like everybody else, I just sit there. I don't want to do anything for the day. It's COVID. I'm scared. I can't move out. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You actually sat in your house for 2 years? Did you pick up a book and study Torah? Well, you glued to the TV. How many more died? Now you are where your mind is. Now, you have to fight this. How do you think we Jews survived all these years? Pogroms, blood libels, everything. It's because we stayed focused on the mission and our relationship with God. And that's powerful. You can't raise the next generation. Oh my God, I'm not going to bring any more children into this world. Oh my God, I don't want. This is happiness. This is living. Yes, God did create the world that there's darkness before light. There was evening and there was morning, day one. We all have to go through that. I get it. But an empty mind, or a mind that could be filled with so much junk, and that's what TV wants. They want you glued to the TV. That's what the world wants. You have to be glued to me. Watch the commercial. Because if not, yeah, that's what it's all about. That's the animal. It's a distraction. That's why a lot of people in the world, they're unhappy. They're not being focused. Yes, even Jews during the Holocaust, in the concentration camps, made Hanukkah celebrations, made Purim celebrations. Yeah, why? They knew they were dying. Because they knew one thing. I may be dying, but I'm still a Jew. And a Jew has a relation with God. Why God wants me to be there? It's not my question to ask the why. My question is, how do I bring God into where I am? The only way to do that is because I'm in love. How am I in love? Because I fill my mind. I have meditation moment, his bonus moments. There was once the fourth Chabad Rebbe. There were 7 Chabad Rebbes. The fourth Chabad Rebbe told a certain Hasidic Jew, who wasn't the most smartest Jew, but he tried hard in learning Torah. He said, this Hasidic lesson, I want you to study it 400 times. I need you to do this. It'll be a good exercise for you. Guy sat at home. And there was this going on, and that was going on. This was going on, that was going on. There were so many things going on. So he said to his wife, I'm going away for 2-3 days. Where you going? I'm going to a hotel. What do you do in a hotel? I just want to lock the door and be in a room by myself. It's the only way I can focus. And during those 2-3 days, he studied this great teaching about God 400 times. When he left the hotel, he was walking on air because his mind was filled with such unbelievable teachings. And wherever he looked, he saw the words of the teachings. He saw God everywhere. And that doesn't mean they saw God everywhere. There were still buildings. But he was able to see that this is God's world. He needed to do that 400 times. The more you love what you're learning and you understand God, this creates a happiness. We're not robots. We're not zombies. We don't have to go and say, okay, now I'm happy. We're not a politician when the camera comes. No, we have to be naturally happy. Why? Because naturally we were born happy. We allow our ego, we allow whatever it is to get into the way of our happiness. I get that. But if a person wants to grow in Judaism, oh, I like this, I like that, I like that. That's all animal. That's all stuff that keeps you from focusing on that I'm created a Jew. Why? Why does God want my relationship with me so special as a Jew? You got to take moments to think about it. The more you think about it, the more you're going to start walking the streets and say, wow, that's Jewish, that's Jewish. That's an opportunity, that's an opportunity. That's a possible mitzvah, that's a possible mitzvah. When I wake up every morning, it's a true exercise, I recognize God is standing in front of me. Imagine if a king was standing in front of you. You get out of bed quickly. But I usually do. Why do I get up, stop moving? Because in my head, I go and say, whoa, I woke up. God gave me life for another day. He trusts me. I wonder what today's going to bring. Who am I going to meet? Who am I going to talk to? What new person? How out of nowhere is someone going to text me and they're going to say, Rabbi, I need you. Whatever it is, I got to be ready for that. I got to be in a good mood. But the reality is, I'm so happy that you, God, have a relationship with me, that you entrust me to be a partner with you in this work. That's exciting. That's a reason to wake up. See, even if I was a newscaster, even if I was a real estate agent, why am I meeting you? At the end of the day, you're not buying the house, but 1 minute. Oh, you are buying the house? Even better. No matter who it is, say a good word. Now, real estate agents, why did you sell the house to Goldberg? I don't know. I was a Jewish person. So, at the day the house is sold, you're going over, you go, hey, what happened? Why don't you go and give them a $100 parchment mezuzah and say the whole reason why I was the one that sold it to you? Of course, God wanted me to make money. That's how I do it. But to give you a mezuzah and make sure you have a beautiful mezuzah on your front door. What do you think a plumber goes to a house for? You think a plumber goes in there to clean the pipes? No! The plumber goes in there. You're a Jew. I noticed on your bedroom door there was no mezuzah. Have one in your pocket. Nice and clean in a sandwich bag. And they said, the bill will be coming, but I noticed you don't have a mezuzah. My gift to you. Promise you. Because you do that, the Jew's going to say, wow, it's not just a plumber. I have a relationship with this guy. He's part of me. He's a Jew. I'm going to call him again tomorrow. My dear friends, if we wake up every morning with purpose, our day is so different. I wake up as a Jew. I wake up with a relationship with God. I wake up, I can't wait to go and do my relationship with God. Put on the tefillin. Say Shema. Put tzedakah. Eat kosher. Make a blessing before. I got so much. Just like a lover will do anything for the one they loved. Oh, you ask me to do it, I'll do it for you too. Instead of doing it, I'll do a little extra. Because my mind is filled with such a Yahoo stuff about God. I'm able to go and wake up every day with purpose. Rabbi, but what about me? What about me? I don't have your thoughts. I don't have your thoughts. In fact, I'm a sinner. If you only knew what I did in college, Rabbi, there's no hope for me. I know a lot of people think that you are wrong. God created you. He knows where he put you. The most non-observant home, he gets it. And he watched you, what you were doing in college. And he knows that you were sinning. He knows. But like every tati, like every mommy, every mother and father, when the child knocks on the door and says, Mom, I'm home, we embrace. Even such a Jew. You can't turn around. It's called teshuvah. You can turn around your action and start a whole new way of doing it. Slowly, but you can do it. And God embraces you. And that leads us to also the concept of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Many Jews go and say, why should I go to services? The way I am, God doesn't want to see me. Wrong! Every parent can't wait to see the child. So you have tattoos. You have 16 rings in your nose and your ears and your forehead and God knows where else. You're my child. I love you. Please come home. And sometimes that's all the child needs, to be able to have that love relationship again, to be connected back to his or her family. So too also with you. The Alter Rebbe is saying right here, just think a little bit about God. Think about how God is taking care of the world in so many ways, and you. It's mankind that's destroying a lot of this world. We get it. But with all the mishigas that's going on, God's taking care of you. Doesn't mean you have to feel guilty to do something bad for God. But a normal human being starts off with a simple, I appreciate what you've done. Thank you. And what do you usually say? Whenever you need something from me, just ask. Well, God is asking of you. And what is God asking of you? I created you a Jew. Let's do something Jewish. Let's light the Shabbos candles at least one a week. Light the Shabbos candles. A guy, can I take 5 minutes a day? 5 minutes? Could you put on the 5 minutes? Put it on. Shema Yisrael, take it on. 5 minutes. Why not? Everybody can get there. But just like every love relationship takes work and time, your relationship with God, it's not instant coffee. It's not microwave quick. It takes time. If you always ate with your fingers and your mother went like this, stop eating with your hands. It takes time until you start using a fork and a knife. Traits take time. But if you're in love, it happens a lot quicker. This, my dear friends, is the beauty of chapter 17. There's hope for everybody because God wants a relationship with you. Just take the time to make the relationship with God. I'll see you all here next week for the next class of Living Lessons from Tanya.